Hey, it's Juck. We are not bemoaning the noon kickoff. We are now owning it. It's a badge of honor. We're the lunatic fringe that defines our coach's legacy when it comes to this game. They don't get to define that outside the family. Dude, we're cut from a different cloth. For Ohioans, he's got it all, man. He's even got the jaw. You know the jaw. You see that jaw, and you're just like, yeah, man, that's a dude. Do I want Michigan to beat Oklahoma? No way in hell. I don't know what world I'm living in. This is insane to me. And if you saw my outburst, I apologize. It's showtime now. It is showtime, the post-game showtime. The game is not over. As you know, we are now in the 2-minute warning, which they have told us they do not want us calling it the 2-minute warning. This is college football. We got to be different. It is the 2-minute timeout. So they're in the 2-minute timeout, but I figured we're going to jump on live now anyways because it's about time to talk about this thing, man. There are a few games that are as exciting as this to me. I just love it. You get to see the first half with all the starters just absolutely dominating, running up great stats and playing fantastic. In the whole second half, we get to see all these young dudes, many of whom from the class of 2025 that's, you know, when I started this show, it was in the off season, heavy in recruiting. I got to know a lot of these guys, follow their entire process. And it is so fun for the first time, you know, ever really being involved with this, seeing these guys out here on the field. Isaiah West, Bo Jackson, they look, the backfield is in great shape moving forward. I'm thrilled. I'm pumped. Welcome in, guys. Appreciate you so much. Let's get it rolling, man. So this game obviously starts off with JULIAN'S SLAYIN just going crazy. 18 for 19, throws the longest touchdown pass in the over 100-year history of Ohio Stadium. Jeremiah Smith on the receiving end of that 87-yarder. That's a record, longest we've ever seen. And it looked like they were passing off coverage on Jeremiah, but they kind of left him open. Not really a good idea. But Julian was near flawless. That first half, that interception obviously was just a late, stupid decision, and he knew it. But not a single ball touched the ground. 19 balls, not a single one touched the ground. 306 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. And that's what he is. That's exactly what he is. We've got one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football. His arm is different. He processes fast. He gets through his reads. Obviously, I preface all this with, yes, the competition, not good. But doing that at practice, right? Just at practice without a pass rush, tough to do. And we're coming off watching a guy in Will Howard who just set the record for the most games over 500 or over 80% completion percentage. And I think JULIAN'S SLAYIN might be the guy to break that record again. Will broke it from CJ. We might see SLAYIN at some point in his career break that thing too. But what a fun performance to watch. He was just like a point guard out there. Everything was on the money. In the first half, 7 different Buckeyes had caught balls. 7 different guys were targeted, which is huge. 3 different tight ends. We had the Will Kazmarek touchdown, long touchdown. Will got in there mercifully. Finally, the end zone came. He's not the breakaway dude. As I watch Bo Jackson score his second touchdown of the day in a sweet move to get in the end zone. Bo looks fantastic. Isaiah West looks fantastic. Honestly, look, we're not going to go there now. But Max Clare, only 1 reception today. That's just 2 in 2 games. I was hoping to see a little more out of Max Clare, a little more of what he's got. But you know, other than that, I think we saw just a little something from everybody. Caleb gets an interception on a really good play. The defense, curious to see this week. Okay, what we saw against Texas, that was against Texas. We know that they prepared all offseason for Texas. Were they going to mix it up? Were they going to do something different heading into Texas? Am I behind, Emily? Is that what you're telling me? Am I behind? No, I'm caught up. The defense. Was it specific to Texas, or would we see a similar game plan? Meaning, like, were we going to see a bunch of 4 down front again? I don't think so. Obviously I didn't chart the whole game, but it seemed to me like just as much odd man front as even. And this defense, you know, we've been bamboozled. I mean, I wasn't totally bamboozled. I kind of predicted that this would not look much like Jim Knowles' defense, but that's the way this was sold to us. That's the way it was sold to us, that this was going to be. Did that get called back? What happened there? Now Sam's in. That this was not going to be, that this was just going to be Jim Knowles' defense with some extra fluff, a little here and there. It doesn't look anything like Jim Knowles' defense. It looks totally different. And it is a whole lot more fun. It is relentless. And you know who else is relentless? Caden Curry. Caden Curry playing nose guard a lot. Like he's all over the place. He's so smart. He's bigger. He's stronger. They clearly bulked him up this offseason. And the dude's just making plays relentless. I mean, through the whistle, every play. As Sam Williams-Dixon gets into the end zone, Isaiah West was dinged up 2 plays previous, got his knee hurt a little bit. Buckeyes go up 69-0, and it looks like 70-0 will be the final score as they will pitch the shutout. I predicted this game to end 63-10. The Buckeyes clearly cover that 55.5 point spread. Pretty remarkable. That's a big old spread, but a lot to get to. On the defensive line in the first half, because I guess we kind of got to break this down into halves, right? First half, totally different than the second half. The first half on the defensive line, Edric Houston with 2 penalties, right? 2 offsides penalties. After the first one, I saw Larry Johnson pulled him out immediately and put in time alone. The second one, he pulled him out again immediately and put in time alone. But when he pulled him out immediately in that first one, it made me think, okay, we got an issue here. Like normally you wouldn't see him do that. For instance, when CJ Donaldson fumbled the pitch to him, he didn't get pulled out immediately. So it seems like maybe Edric's been a little over anxious, which is kind of funny. You know, the young dude just getting the hang of it, getting a little over anxious, and Larry kind of chewed him out a little bit. But Caden McDonald was just as dominant as he was last game. The dude is unstoppable, and he is going to be as impactful as Tyleek. I mean, he's going to be that kind of draft pick, I think. He's just that dude, which is so exciting to watch him grow. You know, the thing that all these goal line stands we've seen, they all have in common, Caden McDonald has been the guy that's been in there on every single one of these big goal line stands. The guy's just excellent. He's the one that he caused the fumble early on. What a great first half. Obviously, a ton of fun. The offensive line, hey, Phillip Daniels at right tackle was going against maybe their best defensive player, number 4. Guy's really good, probably going to be able to transfer into a much bigger school next year. And Phil Daniels absolutely owned that kid. Just totally owned him. Does everything with an attitude. I love watching number 70. If you get a chance when you're watching it back, just key in on 70 for a couple of plays. You're guaranteed to find one where he mauls somebody and does it with a little extra attitude. And it's a whole lot of fun to watch. As we are now 70-0 with 31 seconds left for the Buckeyes as they go 2-0. And congratulations to the Texas Longhorns. They win today. They had a 2-game losing streak, as you know. So they're back in the W column. Good for them. But a big congratulations to Bo Jackson for his first touchdown, Isaiah West for his first touchdown. Our dude Riley Pettijohn. Wow. What a game for 20, man. 20 was on fire, caused the fumble. Epi Satanile recovers a fumble. TJ Alford was coming off the edge a couple plays, made some really great plays, and really happy to see that for TJ. Both of them, Riley and TJ, came in at about 220 pounds, 225. They're both up well into the 230s. And they're just big. They're ready. Got to see Eli Lee even got in today. Eli Lee had a tackle. So that was fun to see. Zion Grady, number 15, made a great play. He just made another play just now, and he looked really good. Nate Roberts played in the first half at fullback again. Last week, we saw him on the only rushing touchdown of the game, CJ Donaldson's touchdown last week. Nate Roberts lined up as the fullback. Today, we saw him again, lined up as fullback. He missed a reception in the fourth quarter, which I'm sure he's going to wish he had back. But definitely he is standing out as a freshman that they trust. And that is really, really unique, especially in a room where there's so much experience. We saw Bennett Christian caught a ball. David Adolph caught a ball. Our guy Bryson Rogers caught 2 balls. By the way, guys, that punt return, Bryson Rogers, it was a sick punt return, and they said he called a fair catch. Now, I do not appreciate that call. He simply was considering it. He was considering a fair catch. He decided against it clearly, and they called it a fair catch. Nobody backed off. Nobody thought he called a fair catch. They didn't blow the whistle. I have no idea what's going on here. That was a great return by our guy. Great return, as our buddy Dave highlights, just Bo Jackson, simply Bo Jackson. Glad we saw a lot of guys. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hold on. Richie, what's going on at Florida? Florida fans have to be done with Napier. It's ridiculous at this point. Am I missing something? Yes, TJ Alford looks massive. Fran Brown, did you guys see Fran Brown? He made his guys run sprints after the game. Brandingo says, Juck once again called his shot, hit once again this week. The Bo Show. Yes, the Bo Show indeed. I believe it was the title of this morning's video. But honestly, that's not that. I mean, we all kind of knew Bo was going to get some run. But I didn't expect him to score on his very first possession. That was awesome. So Bo was excellent. But it was Isaiah that I was really happy for, because I didn't know if Isaiah was going to get some carries. Isaiah comes in, gets a plus 10-yard touchdown, and he looked really, really good. So honestly, when I look at those 2 backs, it's like, yeah, Jimmy the Peoples, who I really like, I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to hold off Bo. I don't think they can, honestly. I really don't. I think we're going to see more and more of Bo. And I don't know who it comes at the expense of, whether that be CJ or Peoples, but it seems to me like Donaldson offers you something different, right? He offers you just that clob hopping mutter, that straight end speed, not really good enough, right? But what he does in between the tackles is something different than what Bo or Peoples do. And it would seem to me maybe at the expense of Peoples, but hey, we'll see. Tons of season to go, obviously. Just 2 games into it now. We get to see Ohio University next week. Don't forget, that is a night game at the Shoe. And quite honestly, I've kind of been considering going to this. I normally wouldn't consider this, but with the new changes at the Shoe, and let me know what the atmosphere was like if you were there today. This was the first game that we've had that's been just kind of a normal game against not a very good opponent in a couple, right? We had the game, then we had the Tennessee playoff game. The atmosphere for both of those obviously vastly different, but the Tennessee game was just insane. Then we had Texas, another insane atmosphere, and we've got these new changes. We've got the music. Things just feel a little different in the stadium. So next week, with Ohio University coming in, obviously it's not going to be a close game. Most likely, they did play Rutgers close, 36-33 last week. What's the atmosphere going to be like against OU at night? I think it's going to be pretty doggone good. I think it might be a fun game to go take in. If the weather's nice, it might be really awesome. So, interested to know if anybody was at the game, how did you feel like the atmosphere was? Am I seeing what's happening in Clemson? I saw they were down at half. What's the current score? You're saying Clemson and Florida are both going to lose? Florida is losing, headed to the 4th against USF, against Golish? No way. No way. All right. So I picked USF plus 17.5, and I said, put a little money sprinkle on them. So hopefully you guys listened. I didn't listen to myself. I did not put that money sprinkle on them. Studley Budley, what's up, buddy? Yes, Ohio is a good MAC team. Ohio is definitely a good MAC team. All right, here our guy Andre will be there next week. He can't wait. First night game ever. You're gonna love it, man. It's a totally different experience. Totally different experience for sure. Emily says the atmosphere was not fun. I was asked to sit. Emily got hit up by the sit down crowd. It's tough. It's like if everybody's not joining in, standing up, you're going to get asked to sit down because the person behind you is looking around going, like everybody's sitting down here. And I just got Emily standing right in front of me. If I stand up, it'll just be me and Emily, and then we're going to look kind of odd. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's tough. You sang Ohio alone. Hold on, Emily. You sang Ohio by camp alone, standing up. Is that what you're saying? Clemson down 16-3 in the third quarter, man. I don't know if you guys saw what Dabo said about Klubnik after that game, but this is kind of karma, man. He really threw his dude under the bus. It was kind of embarrassing. Let me see if I got it. I can pull it up here, maybe. Honestly, I could never see Ryan Day speaking publicly about an Ohio State player like Dabo was talking about Klubnik the other day. I don't have it, but he was just, he talked about two separate throws that he just missed, and he was just ripping them. Touchdown Clemson. Mike says, Juck, are you concerned about the lack of pressure from the defensive line through 2 games? I would have hoped to see a little more pressure today against Texas. No, I wasn't concerned at all against Texas. There was plenty of pressure to satisfy me with the blitzing and the way everything was going. But it's difficult, right? Because we've changed the base defense. We used to have this consistent 4-man front, and it was like, okay, there's so many different things going on now. It's going to be probably 5-6 games into the season before we can really gauge and go apples to apples. But you pitched a shutout through 56 minutes last week, and a shutout the entire game week 2. So no, I'm not concerned about it. We'll see if it jumps up and bites us. I would like to see more, but we'd always like to see more. They're getting it done. Yes. You stood up and sung Ohio in camp, and everybody was like, what is she singing? I've never even heard this song. G-Bucks for life. Riley Pettijohn put on a clinic. Riley Pettijohn, going to be a household name real soon. I was curious to see if they were going to use him in kind of the Arvell role when they put him in the second half. And I don't think we quite saw him in that role, but he did it him damn self, didn't he? He sure did, man. He was awesome. He was so awesome. Ohio up 17-10 on West Virginia. Whoa. Kentucky running out of time on Ole Miss. Grambling with a good offensive line. They weren't a crap team. No, they weren't a crap team. Ohio State is the number 1 team in the country, and they played like it today. Now, interesting, that second offensive line unit. So the second offensive line unit, we had Justin Terry came in. Justin Terry was in there, either second or third at tackle. Wasn't expecting to see him. We had Ethan Onyanwa at right guard, Josh Padilla at center. Gabe Van Sickle seems to be the clear number 3 guard off the bench right now. If you're going to bring a guard, we did see Jake Cook later on. We saw obviously Ian Moore, and Ian played really good as well. I cannot honestly wait to see how many guys played in this game. We saw appearances on defense by Josh Mickens, number 52. You probably saw him out there. I don't think he made any plays. I'll have to wait till we see the watch back, but he's a lot bigger than he used to be. So he was a smaller framed guy, quicker guy when he came in, and it seemed like maybe, he was more suited to be a linebacker. He looks like a defensive lineman now. And I did not see any plays. How about Dominic Kirks, number 55? He was in there. He looked pretty good on a couple of plays. We saw Aaron Scott and Bryce West both playing. Aaron Scott, of course, almost with the interception. He did a great job jumping that route, but he did drop the ball. That got overturned on review. Fahim Delane, freshman safety, number 10, looked really good. He had 2 excellent tackles. One where he came off of his coverage and shot down the line, crashed down and laid the wood really good. And then another one where he was playing a little bit deeper safety and came down really hard and made a really good play. He looked like Malik Hartford, who I didn't see make any plays, but I know that Malik was in there. Bryce West was, I don't know if he was playing nickel or corner. I was putting together my notes, but I did see him flash up on the screen for sure. Anything else in my notes to cover? Oh, Kenyatta was playing some more 3-tech this week, which I find really interesting. We've talked a lot about being concerned about the backup interior of the defensive line. And when you've got guys that you trust more at end, if you can just bring in Atkinson and move Kenyatta down, moving Curry in the nose, I mean, it's just a totally different ball game. It opens up so much to you when you're playing defense like this. But Will Smith did get in the first half, and Will had an up and down performance last week against Texas. Looked really good today on first watch. We'll see when we watch the All-22. But Will looking pretty damn good. Time alone seemed to hold his own today. Seemed to do the same last week. Nothing fantastic, but he's, you weren't giving up big run plays. He wasn't getting blown back off the ball. Jarquez Carter, number 91, freshman, one of my favorites. He seemed to hold it down today. Didn't see last week against Texas, he got 3 reps, like the second to last series Texas had the ball. So we're talking the biggest point of the game. Jarquez Carter was in there as a true freshman, and 2 out of his 3 reps, he absolutely won those reps. Didn't really get to key in on him. There was so much happening that I wanted to see today because of all these new faces. I can't really watch to play this back. And when I watch this, I watch it on the TV, and on the computer, I'm rewinding, watching the play 4 or 5 times, trying to get the good notes in for the show. Chris says, should have put Jimmy DePeoples back in to get a touchdown. Everyone else got one. How about Lincoln Keenholz coming in cold in the second quarter? And all things considered, first couple of balls were rusty, right? Did not look good. Then he ends up going, I think, 6 for 7, 71 yards, 10 yards a pass, gets the touchdown. Overall, looked pretty good. I thought for sure he should have pulled that ball when he handed it off down by the goal line, and he knew it. He was mad at himself immediately after. But I'll be damned. This total line, look at this. The final line for these running backs: Bo Jackson, 9 carries, 108 yards, 12 yards a carry, and a touchdown. James Peoples, 8 for 59, 7.4 a carry, as he busted off that longer one. So did CJ Donaldson with a longer one. He was 5 for 45, 9 yards a carry. Isaiah, 8 for 42, 5.3 a carry, and a touchdown. And you want to be over 5 yards a carry, and you're winning. Sam Williams-Dixon, 3 carries for 3 for 9, 3 yards a carry. And then Brandon Innes on that end around had 1 for 8. And I like watching BI carry the ball like that. Not quite as much juice as Emeka had in that same role running on those end arounds, but I think it's a good weapon to add to the arsenal. BI also had a couple of catches. He caught 3 balls for 29 yards, 9.7. Mylan Graham, how about that 23-yard reception Mylan Graham had? The first guy is always going to miss Mylan Graham. That guy is just so quick. So that was fun to see him get involved. And who else? Oh, Jelani with the touchdown was fun to see. He had 3 receptions, and he deserved it because he was blocking really, really well early in the game, which, that's been kind of his bugaboo. He is no longer the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the blocking tight ends. In fact, he's a considerably better blocker than Max Clare at this point. Max Clare, got to bring that blocking up, man. Got to bring it up. And a lot of times it's mental errors. When they're pulling him on GH counter and stuff, he's missing his block. So that's got to get better for Max Clare, but I'd sure like to see him involved a little more in the offense. At any rate, that's being super picky because obviously things were fantastic. When we look on the defensive end of the ball, Peyton Pierce, P squared, 6 total tackles, 2 solo. And then you got a slew of guys with 4 tackles: Caden Curry, Jalen McClain, Arvell Reese getting in there. Caden Curry with 2 tackles for loss. Garrett Stover, Caden McDonald, and Sonny Styles all with 3 tackles. Caden McDonald with a tackle for loss. Sonny with a half tackle for loss. Ziggy Grady, 2 tackles. Lorenzo Styles for 2. Lorenzo did a great job saving a 3rd down on a tackle. He looked really good today. Bryce West with 2 tackles. Fahim Delane. Riley Pettijohn with 2 and a forced fumble. You had CJ Hicks with 2. IGB with 2. Caleb Downs with 2 and an interception. TJ Alford with 2 and a TFL. Eric Mensah had 2. Eric did not pop to me. I can't wait to see him. I have to watch that back. Eli Lee, our boy Juckeye Eli Lee out of Akron Hoban, 2 tackles. Mickens had 1. Hartford had 1. Jarquez had 1. And Dominic Kirks had 1. So that is the full defensive stat line. Tavian St. Clair finishes 0 for 2 with no stat line. And I don't know about you guys. I was kind of surprised that Lincoln came in to start off the entire second half. I thought we'd see a little bit more, considering when we look at last year, when we look at Will, and against Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall, Will played well into the third quarter. And those were blowout games as well. So I kind of thought we'd see the same kind of format this year with Julian versus, oh my gosh, Richie, you're not kidding, man. He made a hell of a play last week too. I'm guessing he made another play. Vernell Brown, a wide receiver that, boy, we almost should have had at Florida now. Emily, loved cheering for guys by name and nobody around me knew them yet. All because of Juck. There you go. You got to know all the younger guys from your Juck on Bucks. I love that. That's great, Emily. Studley Budley hopes Atkinson picks up the pace. Bo Atkinson needs to be better. Bo Atkinson, I saw him hooked on blocks far too long a couple of times today. You nailed that, Budley. You nailed that. He's got to do a little better. Love Nate Roberts. He's a dude. He's a dude. Big INT for Clemson. Andrew says Bo Jackson should start ASAP. You're not going to get any argument out of me, man. I've been saying that a long time. This is the guy here. Bo has the talent to be an elite back. And it's different. A lot of people made the comp when Peoples first came in with J.K. Dobbins, because that's where our brains go. Similarly built from Texas, top 10 running back in the country. Bo's just got big time talent, just bigger and higher end talent. And he's ready and he's bigger and he's faster. I mean, it is what it is. He makes things happen. He did it all practice in spring and in fall. He's consistently the guy that shows the best on the field. And can also factor in, I don't know how much this does or not, but this is one of Locke's guys, right? Locke's first class. This is his guy. So I think that he's going to get a lot of run. I really do. I really do. Especially when you come in and you put on a flawless performance like this on the field. Andrew feels Milan should be wide receiver 3. That run after the catch was filthy. Picture Milan Graham in that end around that Ennis had today. Ennis got 8 yards. Maybe Milan busts that off for 16. You never know. But, here's our guy, Jake. Boomer indeed. Listen, is that game about to start? Obviously, Michigan going to play Oklahoma. And I was just in an argument yesterday with an Ohio State fan who was telling me, his younger kid, when I was growing up, I hated the SEC much more than Michigan. So I'm rooting for Michigan to beat the SEC. I said, that's because you grew up in an era that Ohio State was just crushing Michigan every year. How does it feel now? Do you want them to be able to say in the last 4 games we played, we beat Ohio State, Alabama, and Oklahoma, 3 of the 8 blue bloods? Do you want them to go brag about that? I certainly don't. But hey, man, to each your own. I'm a huge Oklahoma fan tonight. But on the same token, Illinois was playing Duke today. I was rooting for Illinois. Iowa was playing Iowa State. I was rooting for Iowa tacitly. But, I always kind of root for Iowa State too with Jason Campbell. Though that was a 3-point game. The line was 3.5. Now I took Iowa plus 3.5. So I won the bet. Iowa State wins. I was happy about that. Fisherman would like to see Brian Hartline rotate more. And that's interesting. I wonder how much he's handling that or if Devin Jordan is handling that down on the field. I would guess there's a lot of Devin Jordan handling that now that Hart's in the booth, which, by the way, guys, how strange does it look to you still when they flash up to the booth and you see Brian Hartline up there? Like, that still takes a minute for me to, what the hell is he doing up there? Just hasn't set in yet. But he did a hell of a job today. Bucks by 50. If Clemson wins this game, I'm going to lose it. My dad is an obnoxious fan and has been talking so much smack. I need this. Obnoxious Clemson fan, your dad, huh? Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you, buddy. Byron. Start Bo. Another start Bo. Caleb had an amazing INT. You know, I almost feel like I do a lot of shows and talk a lot of Ohio State football. I talk not a whole lot about Jeremiah Smith or Caleb Downs because it's just like, yeah, dude, they're just amazing. They're just ridiculous. Right now, Peoples looks more like Mike Weber. I think it's a very fair comp. Again, Mike Weber, a 5-star. Mike Weber was higher rated coming out of high school, bigger, thicker build. But yeah, I think it's a very similar comp, really. And it's not like Mike Weber was bad. He just wasn't great. And that's okay. Not everybody is. Oh, we got the Duck Dogs in here. Our Duck Eyes are in 69-3 Ducks against Oklahoma State. Impressive. IFG Juckster, hope you had a good game day so far. Yes. Appreciate you coming in for our look at this. All our Duck Eyes are in. Send Mylan Graham to Eugene. No, you got your guy. You guys have been bragging about flipping him forever. Jalen McClain. You got him. Juck, we live in Washington. You need to come out for that game in a few weeks, buddy. I've really kicked it around for quite a while. And, ultimately, I just think that I'm not going to be able to make the trip this year. I've put in a lot of money on traveling, watching the Buckeyes in the last couple of years, and I'm kind of trying to save it for the postseason. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm telling you the truth. It's a stadium that's not way before since Washington joined the Big Ten that I've wanted to see. I mean, I think Husky Stadium it's in my top 5, probably, just as far as the setting, the noise. Like, I want to see a big game at Husky Stadium. And boy, is that going to be a night game? Does anybody know yet? Is there a chance that might be a night game? Because that would be so awesome. Oregon's so deep, it's crazy. Yeah, they're deep, man. I think everybody's been sleeping on Oregon. I gotta say, we got another. Mylan Graham should be wide receiver 3. I love BI. Shouldn't be returning punts or be wide receiver 3. Now, last year looked really good returning punts when he first came in and started doing that. And he does look faster and quicker than he did last year now that he's leaned out a little bit. He looked really good in practice. Mylan Graham is a different caliber of athlete. Granted, that's there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Clearly, he showed day and Hartline. He's the better receiver. That we're arguing BI and Mylan Graham at this point. Yeah, I mean, I think that there is obviously we know that there was some issues that Mylan Graham was having with ball security, right? We saw it again in the spring game when he broke that long one and juked Malik Hartford out of his draws. He was holding the ball way far away from his body, and they immediately were talking about that. Day talked about it in the post-game show. So, these are things behind the scenes that we're not seeing. You got a guy, number one, and a captain, Brandon Innes. I mean, it's more than talent. You got a captain, earned his dues, waited his turn. Obviously, you play the best guy on the field, but if the best guy, I mean, it's a whole package that make you the best guy. It's not just the best athlete. But if Mylan Graham keeps making fools look silly like that, there's no doubt he's going to get more run, right? But you look at guys like, hey, man, Quincy Porter could be doing this now. Bryson Rogers, I think, is consistently slept on. I think Bryson Rogers, You saw him on that punt return. Like, people have not been believing me. Like, this dude is legit fast as hell because he wasn't rated like that coming out of high school, and we haven't really seen it on the field. Bryson Rogers would be starting at 130 schools. 130. He's so good. Fisherman says, rumor has it that Washington Husky Ohio State Buckeyes game looking like a 4 p.m. game. And that's a bummer. I thought that would be a night game. Oregon fans finding out how it feels to have a roster 2 and 3 deep that all show promise. They are. And that's why when they went into the transfer portal this year, despite losing, as many people to the draft and turning over 100th ranked production like Ohio State, like Texas, everybody naturally assumed, okay, Ohio State and Texas will reload. Oregon, might take them a little longer. Oregon got the same amount of guys out of the portal as Ohio State and Texas. And what does that tell us? Well, Dan Lanning knows what a championship roster looks like. He only had to go get 10, 11, 12 guys, the same as Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State, which means the roster is there now. It's there. That depth is there. Coincidentally, that transfer portal class of 10, 11, 12 guys of Oregon's much higher rated than Georgia, Texas, and Ohio State's. So Oregon doing just fine. BI is a captain. He earned his start. Absolutely, man. I love BI. I love him. JULIAN'S SLAYIN for Heisman, man. I'd really like to see Jeremiah's stats getting pumped. I thought today was a day you could have got Jeremiah another touchdown, another freebie. Richie doubts Milam will ever start over BI, but like to see him get some more burn, and I think he will. I definitely think he will. Jake D believes that Saban would start Graham. Potentially. If Bryson Rogers isn't our starting punt returner going forward, the coaching staff just doesn't watch our special teams operation at all. BI had no idea what he was doing on his returns. I'll be honest, I didn't watch BI's returns. I was jotting down notes at the time. OU won. Ohio University will come into Ohio State next week, fresh off a win against West Virginia. So they beat West Virginia. They only lost to Rutgers by 3 points. That's really impressive stuff. That's a good team. That's not going to look like it did this week. And I thought that it might, but it is pretty clear this is a legit team coming in. I think they won the MAC last year, didn't they? Sounds like they're going to be just as good this year. So, somewhat scary stuff here. We have now got, with 5:54 left in the third, Clemson up 20-16 over Troy, and there probably is no looking back for that. How about Georgia? Are you kidding me? Georgia beat Austin Peay 28-6. Is this a joke? That's got to be a joke. How? And they had 190 rushing yards, 230 passing yards. That score doesn't match up with those statistics. That's really interesting. Oregon beating Oklahoma State 69-3. Gundy talking that crap this week about the NIL. That was a really, I don't know if he was trying to make sure he got that out there because he knew he was going to get whooped. But Oklahoma State, Oregon, when I saw that on the schedule in the offseason, I was thinking, all right, Oregon State got to be, or Oklahoma State got to be better than they were last year. That should probably be a pretty interesting game. Okay, Fisherman said they had a thunderstorm. Okay, so that's why it was like that. Yeah, that can definitely throw you off for sure. Paulie Buckeye, what's up, brother? Offensive and defensive clinic, no doubt. USF is no joke, that's for sure. Ole Miss ends up beating Kentucky, gets revenge from last year when Kentucky went down to Oxford and beat them. They win 20-23, did not cover. That was 8.5 point line. So that's a damn shame because your boy here had Ole Miss. And now we've got Florida, who has taken the lead on USF, and it is 16-15 in the fourth quarter now. We've got Michigan OU starting soon. Let me pop on and check out. Look, we're going to call these Buckeyes South for the rest of the season here. USF for the Buckeyes South, led by Buckeye Alex Golish, a guy that Tressel calls one of his guys. Emily, what's going on? Emily says, it was so good to see our guys go all out. Can't wait to see more from Scott Jr., Grady, Kirks, and Epi. All right. We got a Dominic Kirks fan in here. Love Dominic Kirks. Rod got to watch Ole Miss, says they're not a good team. They barely beat Kentucky. Here we go. Vernell Brown, you called your shot. Vernell Brown with a 40-yard punt return put Florida in position to score that go-ahead touchdown. The dude is legit, man. That's a true freshman. And gosh, we were this close. We were this close. And that would be, obviously this class of 2026 wide receiver class is going to be absurd, but it would sure be nice to have Vernell swap him out. I don't want to say that. Joe Will says, Oregon looks legit, and I think SAYIN is a dude for real. Yeah, SAYIN, definitely a dude. Definitely a dude. I don't think that, obviously, the competition, the haters are going to knock, but soon enough, he'll be playing against Big Ten competition, and I don't think it's going to look a whole lot different. I'll be honest. Now, obviously, doesn't play a really good team until Penn State, but I think it's going to look pretty similar with the accuracy, with the release, getting through his progressions, and he'll have to deal with some more pressure, but we saw him against Texas with that pressure. He does really well. He has a great feel for it. He really does. He has a great feel of when to escape the pocket. He's fast enough to do so. And we talk about offensive line and protection. Like, so much of that is on a quarterback as well. You look at a guy like Kyle McCord. This is a guy who didn't just not have great moves or athleticism. He was very poor at feeling it, consistently ran himself into sacks. He would fade when he dropped back into pressure. Some quarterbacks just don't have a good knack for it. I don't think Arch has a good knack for it, but our guy does. Julian's SLAYIN definitely does. Now, I'm assuming that Dante Moore and DeCorian Moore had a sweet name, huh? Or had a sweet game. I have to check their stats out. I watched the Oregon game just the other day, last week's game. Mekhi Hughes 9 for 30 for 3.3. Now, I was told he was going to be the best running back in college football, guys. DeCorian Moore with 1 carry for 25. Jeremiah McClellan, that's the Buckeye flip, 2 receptions for 76 yards. DeCorian Moore, 2 for 69 and a touchdown. He had a 65-yarder. Okay. I bet that's a sweet highlight. Gary Bryant Jr. with 3 receptions. Have you guys seen Kenyon Sadiq this year? Kenyon Sadiq is even bigger, man. You guys got to see Kenyon Sadiq. I'll pull up a picture of him. So we'll do our whip around of the Big Ten on Monday and kind of go over the rest of these games. Arch was buns again? Was he really? The Duck Knight thinks Mekhi is our 5th best running back. So I was interested as to what happened last week, because when I was watching, I didn't see much Mekhi Hughes. And everybody sung his praises, guys. That's the Tulane transfer. That is Naeem Offord's older brother. And he was supposed to be the dude for Oregon. As we have got USF and Florida, 4:56 left in the 4th, as USF, the University of Southern Buckeyes, try to pull the upset from the swamp. It is 1st and 10. They have crossed midfield for Alex Golish's guys. And Alex Golish, again, a Buckeye grad, started off as a student assistant under Jim Tressel. He's from Dublin High School. He's actually born in Russia interesting story there, but grew up in Ohio. And he is an up-and-coming coach. He's going to be a dude up for a big-time job here pretty soon if he continues the pace. Now, USF, they beat the hell out of Boise last week. Damn it. They just got sacked. They're giving Florida all they can handle this week. They've got Miami next week. I got to be honest. Florida wearing the blue jersey with the orange pants. I love it. It's such a good looking look to me. Just one of my favorites in football. I'm sorry. I can only be me. Willie McBride thought Mekhi Hughes would be that dude. Haven't given up hope yet. Corey and Moore had 15 yards on his first punt return. Arch pretty much had 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half. Well, that doesn't sound like buns. Emily, I'm worried about Peoples. I really want him to show out and be great. Maybe I shouldn't be worried after all. No, you shouldn't be worried in the fact that the guys are there to do so, for sure. Whether that's, Peoples ends up being that guy or not. We got a guy on the roster that can be that guy. Wow, we have got a 58-yard field goal attempt by USF, and it is going to be short, like about 10 yards short. 2:52 left in that game. And looking like South Florida, well, they got 2 timeouts. I guess they still got a shot here. Jacob Dixon, thanks so much for the $4.99, buddy. Jacob says Carnell's catch was filthy. That play, beautiful play. Not only did Julian put it exactly where it needed to be, but Carnell, he needed to make a pretty freaky catch to make it and to make that thing work. And it was just fantastic. Oh, okay. So did Alex Golish call a timeout here? Oh, I thought it only missed by like 3 yards. The field goal at South Florida I'm talking about now. But Alex Golish is trying to say he called timeout before the attempt. And they are not going to accept that. He ran down trying to call timeout. They didn't give it to him in time. Terrence says the UM game starts at 7:49, so we're 15 games off. Arkbuck says Clemson scored. Oh, Corey had a rushing touchdown too. So DeCorian Moore was doing everything. So we've got, the 2 most hyped freshmen at Oregon and Ohio State, and JULIAN'S SLAYIN and DeCorian Moore both showing out today against lousy competition. Though I will say that Ohio State's competition was a little bit lousier, I think, than Oregon's, man. I'll tell you what, Mike Gundy, I was pounding the table for him being such, one of the more underrated coaches when we talk about these best coaches lists in the offseason. But it's gone. It's a past era, right? He's not there in this era. And it almost seems like he's given up. He's defiant. He's realizing this is all slipping away, and he probably should have just gotten out of the game already. Try to adjust this microphone so that shadow's not on my face. That's better. So anyway, we got some agreements here from Rod. Loves that UF look too. Yeah, it's a great look, man. Richie Dubs agrees with me too. Billy does not agree with me. He says Oklahoma State is really lousy. I know. I mean, they were bad last year. I just have such a hard time thinking I don't know, guys. It wasn't that long ago. Oklahoma State was like the real deal every year. Jake D says Moore wouldn't start on our team, according to some people's opinions. Savion Hyder had 16 rushes for 328 yards and 3 touchdowns today. Savion Hyder, well, that's interesting. What did he play JV? Because I saw him play last night. Savion Hyder, obviously a fantastic high school running back. Nothing new there. Yeah, last night, not today. Clemson up 20-16 now in the third. Utah whooping their man. Utah looked really impressive week one. Miami up 14-0 already in the first against BC. And outside of the big game tonight, we've also got Alabama and Louisiana Monroe to keep an eye on. But nothing really much else. Certainly nothing in the late spot. Texas Tech beat Kent State 62-14. My Golden Flashes right down the road here. Put up a couple touchdowns on them. And how about Baylor SMU? I thought SMU was going to win that. Baylor ends up winning in 2 overtimes. Baylor wins 48-45. SMU was up in the fourth quarter. Baylor had their last drive going, and looked like they had like a 30-some yard touchdown to tie it up to send that puppy to overtime. The number 8 Big Ten team about to face the number 8 SEC team. No, I did not go to Kent. I went to Akron for a couple semesters. I wasn't fit for college, buddy. I was going through a period in my life where things were just a little bit off the rails back in those days. A little bit off the rails. Yeah, not good. Not good stuff. J Buck says, what do you think Underwood is going to be against a real team tonight? That offensive line is questionable. I think we're going to see a lot of struggle, and a lot of wow, that dude's going to be great. That's what I think we're going to see. Ultimately, I don't think it'll be enough, but I do think he's going to show flashes. I don't know, man. Personally, I think that there's a lot of Ohio State fans who ought to just accept that they got themselves a Terrell Pryor, a Justin Fields. They got themselves one that for 2 years in 26 and 27 is just going to be a top quarterback in the country. Because I see a lot like hoping he's going to be a bust, and I just don't think that's happening. I think he is the real deal, but I don't think he's Cam Newton. But he's really, really good. Really good. Florida goes long, does not complete it on a 3rd and 8. In South Florida, going to get the ball back. Still 2:39. I've been talking to you guys. They just have like 3 incompletions because South Florida still has a timeout. They only had 2 going into this series. Wow. Look, if Billy Napier loses this game, whatever just happened on this possession, he's going to be absolutely destroyed for. And keep in mind, Florida and Oklahoma, the 2 toughest schedules, Wisconsin, 3 toughest schedules this year. If they lose to USF before they get into the meat of their schedule, after all that big turnaround, all that love fest with Billy Napier last year, that's going to be great. The Bulls will take over the ball at about the 11-yard line. 2:28, 1 timeout. Again, only down by 1. They just need a field goal. And DJ Lagway, Mr. Everything. Again, he really put the ball on the money there, but DJ Lagway, you should be blowing these guys out. This is just not good enough. Simply not good enough. What happened in the Troy game? We had a fake field goal attempt in the Troy game that is in the other quad box. Let me check that here. Is that on in here? We were in the fourth quarter. Clemson up 20-16. Troy with a poor fake field goal attempt, apparently, and Clemson will take back over at their own 40. So still a lot of time here left in this game. Looks like Clemson will probably win this one, but I do think that South Florida still got a shot here. So YouTube TV has the quad box, and I generally, when it's not the Buckeyes or a game that I really want to key on, like Michigan, Oklahoma, I'll have it full screen. Ohio State, I'll have it full screen. But if it's just during the day and I'm watching like the 12 noon games, I'll go quad box up there. And then on the iPad right here to the left of me, I'll have one game, and I'll have the audio for one game right here. Byron's with me. I hate Florida, but I'm with you. I've always thought that jersey combo was one of the best since I was a little kid. Me too. Oh, Rod, listen, Rod, send me a picture. I want to show everybody what you got next show. Rod's got 5 TVs, and it's awesome. I would like to do. Why shouldn't I do that in the studio, Rod? I should do that, shouldn't I? Jake says Rennell not looking so hot there, but our guys dropped balls all day last week too. Yeah, for sure. Yep, quad box is fantastic. Yeah, Rod, DM me that picture. The Natural's got a 100-inch projector screen in the basement. So I got one of those. Matter of fact, I got a wall I should set that up on too. Guys, I tell you, I work so much on content when I'm down here that I forget, like sometimes I should just take a day and make that sweet, right? I should do that. I should do that. J-Buck saw a bunch of Belleville games with Underwood. He agrees. He thinks he is the real deal. I'm just amazed that the dude just turned 18. You imagine when he's 22 years old, he's already yoked. 5 TVs over a pool for Emily. Oh my goodness. Classic Napier team. You got that right. Taking bad penalties at costly times, making boneheaded decisions, and that's why we call him Bonehead Billy. That's what he is. That's who he is. How about this one, though, guys? You know, one of the more puzzling things here in the early part of the season. Iowa brings in Mark Gronowski. Mark Gronowski was the Walter Payton Award winner in the FCS in 2023. That is the Heisman Trophy winner. And I'm telling you, this guy, I thought, like, Iowa's finally got a quarterback. What's this going to look like, man? This is going to be really interesting. And the guy comes in and he looks like he's never played quarterback before in his life last week. So, okay, first game jitters. How about this week? This week, it looked no better. He's taking bad sacks. He's missing wide open guys. It's just terrible, man. The dude is absolutely horrific. And I don't understand how in the hell that is happening. Michigan taking the field, led out by Sherrone Moore, who should be suspended today, right? He should be suspended. I am clicking back to the Florida game because somebody just said Florida is imploding. And here is that picture I requested from Rod. This is Rod's man cave right here, guys. Check this out. I love this setup. Our dude's rocking the 5 TVs. You can even see the boxes here for the smart TVs down here. I mean, he's got it all going. This is specifically for his college football setup. And I do like this. This is our guy here. I appreciate that kind of dedication, right? When somebody has a setup like this, I know I can respect their opinion on college football. And that's our guy, Rod. Jake, did you call Sherrone Fat Albert? Poor Dallas Wilson. What happened, Billy? He should have been in Oregon. Is that what you're saying? All right, I'm back to the UF game. It's just it's on commercial for me right now. Am I caught up? Yeah, everybody loves Rod's setup. Mar thinks USF's going to win. Freak of nature wants to be Rod when he grows up. Here we go. We're back on Mylan Graham. Sam thinks that Mylan Graham is far better wide receiver than Brandon Inniss, and it's glaringly obvious. Look, I don't think anybody's going to disagree with you that he is a more talented athlete, right? I don't know that we've seen enough out of either of them to say who is the more complete or better wide receiver. Mylan Graham's certainly going to give you more dynamic plays. Nobody's going to doubt that. But again, it's about more than that. We obviously know that Inniss is one of the players on the team they respect most, the coaching staff and the players, and that kind of thing matters big time. For instance, let's say you think that Mylan Graham is the better player and you just starting him over Inniss. Like, what's the trickle-down effect of that? How's that play in the locker room? I mean, there's a lot of issues that go into decisions you make, and when it comes to a guy that's like the heartbeat of the team, that's busted his butt all off season to get in the best shape of his life, waited his turn, never transferred. You know what I mean? There's a lot that goes into that. Florida, last 3 plays. Pass interference, unsportsmanlike conduct for spitting on a guy, 26-yard screen, and 3 missed tackles. That's insane. I'm actually writing that down, Jake, just to make sure I have that documented. And we have now got South Florida with 1:54 and a touchdown. There's almost too much time as they are at the 32. Already in long field goal range right now, down by 1 point against Florida here. 1:54 again left in the game. This would just be stunning. Absolutely stunning, and a completion and a first down to the 20-yard line for USF, the Southern Buckeyes, Alex Golish's boys. Florida called a quick timeout. They've still got 2 left. So Florida with a lot of time here, man. No, well, now the clock's running. Clock down under 1:39 and running. Florida with 2 timeouts here. So again, plenty of time. We're hoping to keep it on the ground here. As a matter of fact, let's just go score a touchdown and make Florida need to score a touchdown. That's the play here. Let's go score a touchdown. I said this South Florida quarterback. Again, can somebody explain to me how Florida only has 16 points with DJ Lagway, the guy they tell me is the best young quarterback in the country, against South? A great run. A 6-yard run on first down, and now we were at 1 minute and 3 seconds, and Billy Napier still not using his timeouts. There are 2 timeouts. Billy Napier not using them. We are down to 53 seconds. He's still not using these timeouts. What is this guy doing? It's 2nd and 4. Oh, he's going to get crushed for this. He's going to get so crushed for this. You use the timeouts now. You don't wait till you have the ball. We are down to 35 seconds left. USF down by 1. Here they go, 2nd and 4 with 30 seconds left. We're going to snap the ball, quarterback draw, and it's going to be a first down. That'll be the game, so long as these guys can execute a field goal. And Billy Napier going to lose the game with a couple of timeouts in his pocket, as Florida cannot stop their run. And you can just see defeat all over the Florida players' faces and body language. This is a stunning upset. And I had to listen to a bunch of tool bags tell me how good Florida was going to be all offseason. You remember him. You know him. Not my guy, JP. I mean, he had him in the top 10. He's not a tool bag. But there are some other tool bags. They do this every year. Florida, Oklahoma, and Auburn were the 3 they were trying to pump up. They're going to be really good. They just got a tough schedule. They're going to be really, really good. Okay. Just out of nowhere, they're going to be really, really good. And one of them inevitably is going to be good. And then they're going to say, I've been telling you guys all off season. I'll remember that they also said Auburn and Florida were going to be really good. Dude, people picked Florida to go to the playoffs after last season with this ridiculous schedule they have. And they're going to lose to USF before they even get into the conference part. It's crazy. And Alex Golish going to start the season Boise, Florida in the swamp, and then he's got Miami next. This is so cool. I'm jumping the gun here. They still need to execute a field goal or score a touchdown. Snapping the ball now with 22 seconds left. Quarterback in the gun. He'll draw it. Hold on to it. Down to the 2-yard line. And Billy going to have to call a timeout there. 17 seconds left. It is 2nd and goal. This is unbelievable stuff here, man. Yeah, absolutely. This would be 2 ranked teams for USF who will, without a doubt, be ranked. They're good. Rod's got Michigan winning this game. Richie says Florida still has to play. LSU, Florida State, Miami, Texas, Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. I mean, the schedule is a nightmare. It is like so much fun though. If you're a Florida fan, can you imagine if you're playing pretty good, you get to get up for all these games. Like we'd be going nuts if we had this schedule. I don't know if I could take it. Montana got Oklahoma winning the game. I've got Oklahoma winning. I've got Oklahoma winning and covering 4.5. When I saw that go from 5.5 to 4.5, I jumped on it. I think it might be back up to 5. These Gator fans are just going to destroy Billy, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. We're still at the 2-yard line. Now we are down to 11 seconds, 10 seconds. We'll probably call a timeout here in a few. There's the timeout at 3 seconds, and we will come in for a game-winning field goal. Should be about 20 at the 2, 12, 7, a 20-yarder. Grammatica. Their kicker's Nico Grammatica. Is this Graham Grammatica's son? Remember that guy? Wasn't he a kicker for the Buccaneers? Or Martin Grammatica? Wasn't there brothers? Martin Grammatica. If he played for Tampa Bay and USF is in Tampa Bay, I mean, it all lines up, guys. 20-yard attempt. Martin Grammatica, yeah. And we are lining it up. Florida has no timeouts to try and stall this, so here it goes. The snap, the hold. USF wins. Alex Golish upsets Boise in Florida. The USF Bulls going off in the swamp. We've got surrender cobras all through the swamp. Alex Golish just owned Billy Napier. What a moment, man. What a moment. Doing Ohio proud. I love this guy. I love this guy, man. That's awesome. What a story. Unfortunately, USF better enjoy it while they got him because he is gone. Buckeye Rad, your guy Bo Jackson showed out. He did indeed, buddy. We knew he would, though. Everybody around here had been knowing that for about 6 to 8 months. Okay, so I think I did just hear the confirmation that Nico Grammatica is Martin Grammatica's son. Now we are flipping over here to the quad box with the bigger game here. Oh, looks like we've got OU is driven down the field pretty well here. First and goal, 10 minutes in the first. And they apparently been dicing up Michigan while I was watching that one. Mateer throws it away on first. Michigan's got these stripes on their sleeves of their white jerseys that I think are repulsive. Kind of looks like when they were wearing the Adidas uniforms for a while. They were just terrible. Really was disgusting by Napier. I'm with you, Brutus. I don't think there's any way he survives now after losing this. Touchdown, OU. Boomer. Juck, I hope you're ready for the goalish for Ohio State head coach next time we lose a game. So I didn't get to see him. I didn't get to see this opening possession. I'm guessing it looked pretty good. He is a dude. He's a total dude. Yeah, that's a touchdown. All right, friends. Beautiful day. Great turnout for the show. I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go upstairs. I think Carmine cooked us some wings or something. I can smell it, and I'm starving. Again, Buckeyes with a massive win, 70-0. Appreciate you hanging out with me afterwards to watch a little bit of the game, the end of the big upset for USF. But we will do. Obviously, I'm sure we'll all watch the game again. I'll do a more definitive breakdown of everything we saw in today's game as we get a slew of young guys coming in and playing. And it is always so much fun to watch these dudes come in, get their first taste of big time college football in the shoe. So a great day indeed. I'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate you again. Juck and Bucks out.